Imagine stepping out your front door into a living painting where deep crimson foliage glows against velvety green backdrops. Yet the entire display needs less upkeep than your weekly grocery run. Today on Luxury Home Decor, I'm revealing the simple red and green landscaping formula that designers use to rocket curb appeal and property value at the same time, even on compact plots. Stay tuned, because the first tip can be executed this weekend for under $50 and will look luxe all year. Let's ground everything in color psychology. Red is a warm, attention-demanding hue that advances toward the eye, while green is a cool, receding color that calms. Placing them together creates instant depth without extra hardscape. Because they're opposites on the wheel, red blossoms framed by evergreen structure feel energetic yet controlled, making modern facades pop without chaos. Keep that principle in mind as we layer plants by height, bloom time, and texture throughout the session. Design pros predict 2025 exteriors will feature bolder color blocking, matte black trim, and climate-smart plant palettes that reduce irrigation. A red and green scheme slots perfectly into that forecast, delivering striking contrast while leaning on drought-tolerant evergreens and berry shrubs for longevity. Think of the front yard as your home's preface. Get the palette right and it telegraphs modernity before a guest even reaches the doorbell. No pricey architectural overhaul required. For spring, start with a carpet of chartreuse heuchera or green mondo grass. Then tuck in tulip red azaleas that explode just as modern homes crave a post-winter wake-up. Their shallow roots won't prod foundations, and the bloom cycle bridges the gap before summer perennials take control. Adding a 2-inch layer of natural bark mulch at planting time locks moisture, suppresses weeds, and intensifies both red and green pigments for sharper curb appeal. As heat arrives, pivot to drought-defiant showstoppers like torch red Nephofia, better known as red hot poker, and compact sunjoy barberry. Anchor them with emerald dwarf Yupon holly for an architectural hedge that stays crisp when lawns brown out. These species keep saturated color under scorching sun, slash irrigation bills, and eliminate weekly mowing chores. The contrast of vertical poker spikes against rounded holly mounds also satisfies modernism's devotion to precise, gallery-worthy geometry. When autumn cools the air, swap floral reds for foliage fireworks. Japanese barberry turns burgundy and serviceberry glows scarlet against a matte boxwood wall, achieving the gradient effect contemporary architects crave. Round out the palette with tufted emerald carex that sways like fiber optics at sunset. A fresh topping of dark pine bark mulch intensifies each hue, resists weeds, and frames the scene so your entry reads polished, never merely festive. Winter needn't mute the drama. Plant cold hardy red sprite winterberry in front of glossy American holly for a living holiday vignette that persists well after December lights come down. Bare stems studded with cherry red berries sparkle against dark evergreen leaves and light snow, giving your facade that boutique hotel finish. The birds get a seasonal buffet. You gain curb appeal with zero plastic decor. And pruning is optional once plants establish. Small lot. Work vertically. Layer knee-high emerald dwarf spruce, mid-story coral bark maple, and a slim trellis of scarlet climbing roses to draw eyes upward, making the frontage feel grander than its footprint. Echo that stair-step rhythm along the driveway, and sudden stature appears built into the architecture. Vertical planting frees ground plane for seating or sculpture, and pruning can be done from a step stool rather than a ladder. Huge for urban dwellers. Nothing telegraphs modern luxury like a sculptural Japanese maple, haloed by minimalist gravel. Because its roots stay shallow, you can nestle an Acer palmatum within 3 feet of the entry path without risking the foundation. Choose a red-leafed, bloodgood, 4-day 1 color, and underplant with mossy green sedum that hugs the ground and reflects sunlight into the maple's canopy. The pairing reads like living art and needs little more than annual thinning cuts.